In case you haven't heard, this coming Friday is a total economic blackout. The idea here is that we as normal people, we do have power, and the power is through our dollars. So you spend $0 on Friday, February 28th. You don't go grocery shopping. You don't get gas. You don't buy anything on Amazon. You don't go to fast food. You don't go to Starbucks. You literally spend $0 this coming Friday for a full 24 hours. Again, this is Friday, February 28th. There's going to be more of these, but this is the first major one. So I hope you'll be willing to participate because we do have power. The power is through our wallets.
Yes, Libras are gearing up for a massive boycott this Friday, aiming to cripple the economy in protest of Donald Trump presidency. When I saw this, I had to laugh all through because these insane people can't even stop. Now going into the video of today, you remember this lady who told Elon Musk to F off. Immediately she rushed to Don Lemon. They had a show. If you remember, this is what Megyn Kelly had to tell Don Lemon today.
I saw in the news yesterday, Don Lemon was out there upset that I'm enjoying the Joy Reid termination, once again calling me nasty names. And really what's happening here is when one cannot generate light on one's self by oneself, they may find it fine just to bathe in the reflective light of someone else who actually is successful. That's what's really happening there. Don Lemon has no viewers. He has no listeners whatsoever. He has not been able to make it in the cable news world where he was repeatedly demoted and then fired. He was fired 2 minutes after getting hired by Elon, which should have been a lifeline to him, but he was too stupid to actually take advantage of it. And now he's too stupid to actually make it in the digital lane. So he did the one thing that he could think of to do, which was get into the press by attacking me. And now he's gotten more ink than he's gotten in the past 4 years. But he's a sad, pathetic little man who actually cannot make it in business on his own. And really at this point, thoughts and prayers, Don. Hang in there. You know why there are layoffs? You know why Joy Reid finally lost her job? You know why Alex Wagner lost hers? Because of you, Rachel Maddow. Because of you and your colleagues who completely destroyed the credibility of your entire network. You, more than anyone, did that. You are the biggest conspiracy theorist on television. You're the one who pushed Russia for years, trying to make it sound like you had special insights you could let us in on that only the great Rachel Maddow could see through to, and night after night trying to drive up your numbers with a bunch of made up bullshit. If you're looking for someone to blame, look in the mirror, sister. It's actually not the fault of the new woman, Rebecca, who took over 2 minutes ago. It's your fault. And it's absolutely Joy Reid's fault, and Lawrence O'Donnell, and Chris Hayes.
This is just a master class in replying to this guy. He wanted to seek attention by calling Megyn Kelly's name so people can pick up clips so he can go viral. And Megyn Kelly didn't even give him that attention he wanted. He went further with this Jasmine.
If you could speak directly to Elon Musk, what would you say?
Off.
That's it.
My question is, Elon, what have you done besides tear us apart, besides be in over your head, besides make sure that you continue to enrich yourself so that not only you can continue to be the richest person in the world, but you can make sure that other people that are already struggling, unfortunately, end up falling on even harder times.
So, Congresswoman, when was that? And he asked you, the person asked you, what would you say if you could speak directly to Elon Musk? And I love your response. And I think that the American people will love it too.
So actually, there were a number of influencers that came out today. Leader Jeffries organized a big news conference. And that news conference had everyday people telling their very real stories. And they had those of us that understand that we work for the American people standing behind them in support. And then there were influencers on the side afterwards. And so we did a bit of a quick kind of presser with myself and a number of influencers. And I was asked, what would I say if, you know, I could say something to Elon Musk? And I said what I said. So, I mean, here's the deal. I mean, I don't have much to say to him. Like, the fact that we're having all these conversations about him is already a problem. This is not somebody that was appointed and has to be Senate confirmed. This is not someone that was duly elected. This is not even someone who has a full-time gig with the federal government, yet we are constantly talking about him because he is exceeding his powers. So my real questions are, Elon, if you're not running Doge, then who is? Because y'all told the courts that Elon isn't running Doge, but then we hear that OPM sends out an email to all of the federal government employees talking about, tell me what you did in the last week, give me 5 bullet points. My question is, Elon, what have you done besides tear us apart, besides be in over your head, besides make sure that you continue to enrich yourself so that not only you can continue to be the richest person in the world, but you can make sure that other people that are already struggling, unfortunately, end up falling on even harder times?
Making the
I
grant
worked in
decisions.
Congress
Scott, that's
too.
an
We had to
obvious
take ethics. We had to take
that's an
ethics
obvious
courses.
conflict.
You can't
I mean,
do it. It's a conflict.
He's not making the grant
he's over-
decisions.
How do you know that he's not making the grant decisions,
I
Scott?
mean, they've said he's
over
not.
at the FAA saying he's got his hands in everything in the government, and his company gets a contract. That's a clear conflict.
How do you know that he is?
That's also
You're alleging that
but
he
Scott,
is
that's
personally
literally
writing the grants for
thing.
himself.
We
I don't
played
think that's
we
true.
played the sound. Donald Trump was asked by Caitlin Collins about that exact scenario. He said it wouldn't happen, and it's happening.
You're alleging that you two are alleging that he is in a government office personally writing grants to himself. I think that is a major allegation. If you're prepared to make it,
Scott,
go ahead. But I
hold
think
on.
you're out of
Somebody
it.
said that.
So, just a second, because Scott, we're first of all the kind of wild. If you're making that allegation, it's almost like a threat. I don't think that that's warranted in this situation. Ethics laws exist in this country, and they have for a long time. And they apply not just to people like Elon Musk, but just regular old staffers who can't go to a lunch and have someone pay for it for them because of conflict issues. So Elon doesn't have to write the check for himself, but his presence in the agency where he himself is receiving a benefit is a clear conflict. It's not an allegation of him writing a check to himself. It's just pointing out.
You just alleged he has a conflict.
No.
It is an allegation.
It's just pointing out that generally speaking, in the government, you are not allowed to oversee business where you
When you look down, this lady is panicking because Scott, they just doing the right thing, grabbing them where he's supposed to. He said something about Elon Musk, so he's there doing this, like she's sure of what she's saying. Now Scott came back. Oh, she's struggling to turn everything around. You can see how stupid these people can be sometimes. Now going back to Don Lemon, I think that was just my focus on this video. This guy, nobody actually is talking about him. If you want to draw some attention on social media, it is for him to say ridiculous things. That is only when I see his videos surfacing. He struggled the other day to go after Megyn Kelly, saying some ridiculous things about her. Megyn Kelly replied, I thought maybe she would bounce back by giving him hot. But the way Megyn Kelly replied, that was amazing. What I hate the most is that when something happens, I don't want to see this, this issue of race surfacing. I think this is my last video. I'm even talking about this. This issue of Joy Reid being fired is over in my brain.
But it's not just Joy. We've had a lot of shakeups here, as I know you have heard.
The fallout from Joy Reid's firing at MSNBC continues. She signed off from the show for the last time last night. I mean, we are going to miss her in our own special way. And her now former colleague, Rachel Maddow, never one to not be the center of attention if she can find a way of injecting herself into a story, decided to deliver a monologue aimed directly at her bosses. And this is the theme of what we saw. I looked it up today just so I would know the actual definition. Merriam-Webster: sanctimony, affected or hypocritical holiness. Wikipedia describes sanctimony as a feeling or display of moral superiority. Here's another one for you. Self-righteous, from Oxford. A certainty, especially an unfounded one, that one is totally correct or morally superior. I give you Rachel Maddow. We will kick it off with SOT 7.
Joy Reid's show, The Readout, ended tonight. And Joy is not taking a different job in the network. She is leaving the network altogether. And that is very, very, very hard to take. I am 51 years old. I have been gainfully employed since I was 12. And I have had so many different kinds of jobs, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. But in all of the jobs I have had, in all of the years I have been alive, there is no colleague for whom I have had more affection and more respect than Joy Reid. I love everything about her. I have learned so much from her.
Indefensible. And I do not defend it. Okay. She really is one of the most, maybe, is she the most annoying people on television. She oozes sanctimony and self-righteousness.
So let me just say to Megyn Kelly, in my 30-some years as a journalist and my 50-some years as a person of color, go fuck yourself. Okay?
Not to respond. Employees at the Department of Justice and Department of Defense are also being told not to respond.
You know what your old boss is so good at? He's so good at picking off little constituencies.
Weeks. Yep. But it's a state where women lost their reproductive rights.
Thank you guys who has been sharing out my videos. If you see clips after this, that is for algorithm.
Justification, she was asked this week.
There was a meeting behind closed doors a short time ago between the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass,
departments. When I talked about it, it's from the city, from the...
You know, I mean, I don't know how many sets she visited, but everybody was like, you know, and yeah, and then, you know, you get, well, the closer you get to the actual set where the shooting is, and then that red zone.
And he did this little dance, like, I've been talking with these, you know, with the governor of Hawaii about what to do. We got some ideas, speculating, we're gonna have some meetings. Like, he's
really?
Oh, show it to him, Jamie. It's so creepy.
About some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward.
Never in California questioned whether or not we as taxpayers in the largest state in the union should support the people of Louisiana at a time of emergency and need. We never condition it.
These people don't actually care. They're not actually trying to find a solution.
If you don't know, Karen Bass is a goner. She's gone. There's no chance of re-election.
The city will only purchase from vendors that support DEI, said the.
I remember when we had a fire when Trump was president, and he came in and he said, "You don't rake. You're not raking." And we all did jokes about it.
In policy.
The city of the Pacific Palisades is burning, and I flew here last night. I was on a plane.
You getting water to areas that need.
He's been trained.
Yeah, and then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel.
The Democratic Party has about everything.
The next department that appears to be on the chopping block is the Department of Education. Just earlier today,
tyranny is rising in the White House.
You are a slave.